My dear friend, you are most welcome on this channel. Namaste, Sada Vasalai. Have you an idea? Mr. Rahul Gandhi went to the United Kingdom and he delivered a speech in Cambridge University where he told the students that I was the alumni of the Cambridge University in the United Kingdom. I don't know he was or not. This is this is existing in his records as a student in the Cambridge University in the United Kingdom. He applauded the China and USA in the United Kingdom that China now very progressive country and the China infrastructure better than the India and at the same time he applauded the United States of America, the progress of United States of America. I would like to say that if you are the good speaker of the English or any language, this doesn't mean that you are intellectual. Intellectual Intellectuality is a rather different issue or different subject. A British dog can understand the English language because language is not the synonymous of intellectuality, intellectuality, but it is the only synonymous of the good orator. Though Rahul Gandhi criticized this government, that this government of the BJP government is very intolerant, means he criticized the Sanatan Vedic culture that the Hindus are being intolerant indirectly. The attack of the Sanatan Vedic culture is the old trend of the so-called secular leader, especially the Congress, because Congress was the largest party of India before 1914. After the song of the BJP government, Congress is shrinking or reducing up to extent. So Rahul Gandhi described the disability of this government, though there is no disability of this government, this is known as the BJP government, and the Prime Minister Modi is doing well in context of the economy and the GDP. I have seen so many data and I found that the India was not amongst the 10 largest economy, but below 20 largest economy before 214. In the regime of the Congress government, India was too much behind in the GDP, in context of the GDP and the, uh, and the economy. Now the Indian economy is growing and the process is very fast. I think India economy is on fifth or fourth number. I think this may be fourth, and it can be beat the economy of one more country. The Indian economy will be third in the next many years, and the United States of America economy will be second, and the China will be third. No doubt. At this point, if there is any reverse process, there may be no surprise that India economy would become first. If these obstacles which was created by Rahul Gandhi and his party, Mr. Rahul Gandhi praised the China because this is the side effect of a bribery which was taken by Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi when both mother and son went to the Chinese embassy in India, Chanakpur. I think the embassies are in Chanakpur, New Delhi. They got a huge amount as a bribery for the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. That was the 1 crore 65 lakhs at least. And this is very astonished that the Rahul Gandhi and his young mother went to the China and made an agreement with the Chinese government, People Liberation uh, Party, PLI, जो People Liberation Party जो भी है, Communist Party, in the greater sense we can say that with the Communist Party of China. That you must know that the Communist Party of China is the one party rule, that is the Communist Party, that is the communism. And Rahul Gandhi must remind in his mind that the Congress party is not equal to the status of the Chinese Party of India, because India is a democratic country and the democratic setup of China allowed to democratic setup of India allowed to so many parties. So Congress is the only iota in the ocean of the Indian democracy. At that time, Congress is the only iota in the ocean of democracy. But the Chinese party, Communist Party is always a only single player in the undemocratic setup of China, that is known as the communism. Can Rahul Gandhi imagine that Rahul Gandhi criticized criticized the Chinese government as usual? Certainly, he is living in India and he is benefited by the boom of the democracy. The, the anti-Sanatan Vedic thoughts embedded in the automatically in the blood of the Congress and its leaders. Even though all the secular parties have embedded the anti-Sanatan Vedic thoughts in his blood. So this is not true that the Rahul Gandhi applaud the China and criticize the India. This treacherousness always comes when the Rahul Gandhi and his mother Sonia Gandhi speak on any platform in the whole country. The position of Indian government is too much salacious and the barbaric that Rahul Gandhi and his mother asked the group of the surgical strike or the group of the Balakot air strike. Can you imagine this Rahul Gandhi is always indulged in the demoralized our Indian military. Can these deeds be in China or United States of America? No and never. Even in China, you cannot open mouth. You cannot. You have no free will to describe. You have no right to speech. But in India, there is a right to speech and equality before the constitution. And this is why these all barking dogs are barking nonsense without seeing the result of or the resultant of this harm to the society and to the Indian panorama of the democracy. Mr. Rahul Gandhi said in the Cambridge University that China is going on the path of the progress. And there is the dam in China, the water resources and so many uploading facts of the China. But you must aware, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, that there is no opposition in China. What is final? What has to be done by the president of the China, Jinping? That is the final. Nobody can dare to oppose the Jinping. But here you always You always told a lie, even in the parliament, and you have to go apologize in Supreme Court or in High Court. Everywhere your sins are exposing by the public as well by the government of BJP, that is the Indian government. You are you have the heredity of the corruption. You have the heredity of the mischievous activities against the Sanatan Vedic culture. You can criticize the Sanatan Vedic culture, but in the Western countries and even United States of America, they are well aware what is the Sanatan Vedic culture. Sanatan Vedic culture, prime anthem, Vasudeva Kutumbakam means the whole universe is our family and all the mankind, including the flora and fauna, must be happy, wealthy. So you couldn't understand the realistic meaning of the Sanatan Vedic culture. Sanatan means for the very beginning, for the human, all the living organism, including the plant and the nature, that is known as Sanatan Vedic culture. You are criticizing the BJP government and directly criticizing the Hindu or the Sanatan Vedic culture that after BJP there is growing the intolerance in Hindu. Or Hindu will never be intolerant. Otherwise, you must describe in context of the Islam who always spread the hate among us the Muslim against the non-Muslims or Kafir. So many verses of Quran is recited by many times by me that these verses, Quran verses, is very dangerous to the society. Even I described in morning that the organization of Islamic countries is very dangerous. If these Islamic countries, though there are only 44 Islamic countries having majority in that organization, and the 50th country means 11 countries has no Muslim majority because Philippines is also the member of OIC, but the Philippines is a Christian majority country. Same time, Guyana is the member of the OIC, but Guyana is the Christian majority country. So 11 countries are with non-Muslim majority country in the Organization of Islamic Countries. So if all these 44 Islamic countries adopt the path of the Islam, so this is a certain danger to the society in the next coming years. So you have no dare, Rahul Gandhi and the even secular leaders have no dare to disclose the real intolerance which is persist in Islam, and you are the most inhibitor with your mother in the progress of India because you always ask the proof of the Balakot strike, air strike, and the surgical strike. Have you any right? You have no right because there is no opposition leader in this parliament, or you are the most or the greatest liar of the Indian subcontinent or Indian society as the Bilawal Bhutto, Zardari. These both Herculean leaders are only in the politics because their fathers, their father and mother, or their ancestor, their grandmother, their mother, their father, or their family personal were in the politics, and certainly the politics of India was hijacked by this family, Nehru and Gandhi family, because Congress is the only the platform for the fighting for the freedom of India. So Congress, the literally meaning of Congress is the organization or a platform to oppose or fight against any anarchy or atrocity against the humanity or the citizen of India. This was the aim of the Congress. But when the Nehru thought that this is the golden chance to acquire or to yes acquire the democracy of India by his hand, and so he fetched away the democratic setup of India with the help of so-called Mahatma Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So this was the only power of transfer to this Nehru family. And Nehru was the synonymous of the Indian democracy. Though many freedom fighters have too much participate or too much share in the fighting of the freedom in context of the Indian freedom. You see, the Sahid Bhagat Singh family is now residing in Udham Singh Nagar near Parhani village. I have seen that place. They are living just an ordinary person, and their descendants are simply a farmer, and they couldn't get a single job in the Uttarakhand government. And this is the history of your family that your brother-in-law Robert Vajra is so much mischievous, and you all are on the bail. Why should not you should not declare? Why you would not be declare in the Cambridge University that I am on the bail in many cases of the economic schemes as the National Herald case and so many cases. So if you are the honest, then you must disclose all the cases which are against you. You are only criticizing the BJP government without any cause, without any sincerity. This is why you are you are not sincere, and you are now underestimated by the people. The speaking of English doesn't mean that you are the intellectual, because you studied in the Cambridge University. That this is a very easy task to speak in English so fluently. So you always within mud and dust, and you are throwing that dust towards the Narendra Modi. You told in Parliament that the people will beat Narendra Modi with baton. This is your label. This is your culture. This is your this is your this is your broad this is your teaching by your parents, by your mother and your father. Your father was died when you was very young, but I would like to say that this is the teaching of your mother. Your mother is very indulged against the Hindus when he put a bill on the floor of the parliament, that is communal violence bill, in which will the only Hindus would be criminal, declared criminal, and all action would be against the Hindus. If the Hindu woman raped by a Muslim, then it might be the duty of the Hindu woman to prove that she was raped by the Muslim or any minority people. But if a minority woman told to the authority, that is the police and the district authority, that he, she was raped by any Hindu, then there is no provision to any bail. This was the treacherousness which was spread by Sonia Gandhi and the members of that bill. was uh, Harsh Mandar and retired IS or already retired IS, and so many, Khobar Gandhi, these all anti-national and the communist. This is the treacherousness of Indian historians that they devastated our all history. The Akbar is great in the eye of the historian as Guha. Guha, that Akbar was the great. How the Akbar was the great? When he killed 35,000 Rajputs after winning the Chittorgarh, and this was the third Zohar or self-immolation of Hindu women were conducted due to the fear of the molestation of their honor. As per Islamic doctrine, the war captive will be the war captive and will be raped by the Islamic soldiers. So, what is the idea and what is the theology of these secular leaders of India? They are trying to uh, defend the Sanatan Vedic culture. First, my appeal all the Western countries and the people of the Western countries, please read Ved and Upanishad. Now, Ved are in all the languages, English, French, Greek, Spanish, Hindi, Sanskrit. Ultimately, the original documents of Vedas in Sanskrit. There are four Vedas: Rig Veda, the oldest, Yajur Veda, Earth Veda, and Sam Veda. So, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has nothing knowledge or he does not know Amb in Punjabi about the Sanatan Vedic culture, and he was telling lie in his Cambridge speech that India is going to intolerant. Not at all. This is the resentment of Hindus or the ex-Muslims or the non-Muslims who are opposing the ideology or the doctrine of Islam, which is very, very fanatic and very, very anti-human. So if any leader of the Hindu society declared that Islam has a violent ideology against the non-Muslims or Kafir, as per described in the Quran and Hadith, these secular leaders of India are screaming that the Hindus are being as a terrorist. This is not our right to defend ourselves. If an ideology is trying to eliminate our society and a culture, eliminate our existence or lives, then why not is our duty to save our lives against this ideology or theology which is very, very harmful to the Sanatan Vedic culture in India? You see the past history of the Islam, the first Islam devastated the culture of the Jews at the time of Prophet Muhammad. After that, the Islamic soldier confessed, conquered the Misr in the 5 years and 35 years in the Syria. And the sale and purchase of the Jews and the Christian women were very common at that time. Even the Prophet Muhammad also sold the sex slave. So, if we are disclosing the real fact of Islam, then why Hindu are going to intolerant? We are discussing what are written in the Quran and Hadith. After that, the devastated the Christian culture in the Syria, Misr, Judaism in Syria, Misr, and the Arabian country. You see, the Jews and Christians were in majority in the Arabian Peninsula before the inception of Islam. After that, the Zoroastrians were totally eliminated from Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan. You see, the Iran, Iraq, and northern Afghanistan had a majority of the Zoroastrians, or which are known as Parsi in India, as Tata, I think Godrej, it may be Godrej, Kirloskar, I don't know, Kirloskar, nahi, Boman Irani, and so many Parsi, Nana, Palkiwala, Soli Sarabji, all these are Parsi fellows. Some Jyoti fellows, as a Nadira, a film actress of the India, Nadira was a Jew, and then Zon Abraham is ethnic Jews, and I think his mother is Christian. So after elimination of the Zoroastrians, Islam devastated the Sanatan Vedic culture. And in this treacherousness of this treacherousness, Mahatma Gandhi and the Congress were a big partner against the Sanatan Vedic culture along with Muhammad Ali Jinnah. You see, the deed of Mahatma Gandhi was so treacherous, so deceiving to the Hindus that Mahatma Gandhi asked a corridor from eastern Pakistan to western Pakistan, at least 40 kilometers wide, and the majority of the Muslim might be near the corridor, so the Muslim transport to Bangladesh to Pakistan must be without any obstruction. This is the cunningness. Even Mahatma Gandhi do not know single ABCD, the Quran and Islam. This is our ill fate. Mahatma Gandhi is not the end of the intellectuality. Every era, every period had, has, will produce the intellectuals throughout the world. You heard a slogan or a proverb in Hindi, "Chalti ka naam gadi." So the speech of Rahul Gandhi was totally disappointing the Indian citizen, but also disappointing to the United Kingdom people. If the India is not so progressive the till date, this is the fault of your Nanaji Nehru, then your grandmother Indira Gandhi, because Congress has ruled more than 65 years. I think 55 or 56 years or so. This is the technical thing. So this is your fault. Your family has a great fault that your family couldn't develop the India because you are indulged only the Hindu Muslims. You were dividing the Hindus among the castes, Dalit, Agda, Pichda, OBC, ST, SC. But you are not dividing the Muslims. You organize the Muslim against the Hindu, and in the bulk you got the vote of the Muslims. But my beloved Muslims are now thinking that they are on the wrong path because they are the descendant of the Hindu forefathers. So the Muslims are now reconverting to their home, known as Darbati. This is the real problem of these communist and the so-called secular leaders. If there will be a Muslim in India, the secularism or pseudo-secularism will be end. This is the tension to these pseudo-secular leaders, and the second tension is that Hindu is uniting. Hindu is going to unite to fight against these terrorism of the communism or Islamic terrorism. This is the real danger in the mind of these so-called secular leaders. Hindu must remind in your mind that if a political leader, if certainly he is criticizing Hindus, this is our duty to give answer in that way, which way he wants. And now Swami Prasad Moria, something barking, something Digvijay Singh barking, something so-called secular leader barking, and the most secular leader of Maharashtra, that is Sharad Pawar, has a relation with Dawood Ibrahim. Kirpul Patel has a relation with Dawood Ibrahim, and Ahmed Patel had relation with Dawood Ibrahim. This is the reality of our democracy. In the name of the secularism, always Hindus were pressurized, so-called secular leaders, and this was the agenda to disintegrate the Hindus in many sects. You see, Lingayat group, Mr. Siddaramaiah tried to disintegrate the Lingayat group from the greater Sanatan Vedic culture. This is the real face of the Congress. They can cross the limit of the treacherousness and the cheating for their power status. So Hindu must unite. If we are united, no government can ignore us. The victory of Sanatan Vedic culture in, embedded in the unity of the Hindus without seeing who is the backward and the forward and the Dalit and ST. Because there is no concept of the caste by birth in the Hinduism or the Sanatan Vedic culture. So this was the frustration which was come out in the speech in the Cambridge University of by Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is so much, I think, innocent or uh, so much to be innocent. He doesn't not know even a single ABCD. He are just like kid. He is licking the finger top. He is very cunning person. You should know. He is a cheater. He is a dishonest person who accumulated so much wealth with the help of his mother and his brother-in-law Robert Warra is inculcating the land of the farmers, and these families are supporting the Rakesh Tiket and Naresh Tiket, the farmer, so-called farmer leader. You see, the Congress is supporting Khalistani terrorists. Even a single word Congress never told against Amritpal Singh. This is the double face of the Congress. You must see that without power or without lies, Congress dies. Thank you very much. See you. Good night.